Welcome back to Pause 2-3, where your power is in the pause. My name is Jen, and I welcome you here if this is your first time, and I welcome you back if you have been here before. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me. Today, we are going into step 2 of the 7-step dance to becoming authentically you. And we explore a tender and deeply human pattern that so many of us fall into, the habit and pattern of people pleasing. This episode is not about judgment or blame. It's about instead understanding and having compassion and reclaiming parts of yourself that you've handed away in exchange for approval, peace, or even belonging. So if you've ever struggled to say no, and you've often overextended yourself, or you've stayed silent to avoid conflict, first of all, you're not alone. And second of all, you're not broken. Guess what? You're human. And you learned these patterns for a reason. So let's take a deep breath in together as we begin. We're going to inhale slowly. And as you exhale, let go of all the tension, let go of the day thus far, the stress, and just let yourself be present in the moment. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw soften, and let your entire self land here in this moment. People pleasing is often misunderstood. It is not a weakness. It's not a lack of boundaries. It's a survival strategy, one that helped you stay safe, loved, or feel included at some point in your life. Maybe you learned that keeping the peace kept you safe. Being agreeable earned you love. Saying yes made you valuable. Or maybe you learned that staying small helped relationships stable. And perhaps meeting everyone else's needs first prevented conflict. These patterns were adaptive. They protected you when you thought you needed protecting, and when you perhaps in the past did need protecting. But now that you are becoming you and finding your voice, those patterns may be limiting you. People pleasing becomes harmful when you ignore your own needs, when you say yes while your whole body is saying no. It becomes harmful when you abandon your truth to be easy, or when you silence your intuition to avoid disapproval, and when you shrink to make others comfortable. And it also becomes harmful when you feel resentment, but don't express it. Instead, you suppress it. You keep it buried inside. Releasing people-pleasing, releasing the mask of people-pleasing isn't about swinging to the opposite extreme, which oftentimes we can tend to do. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this as we continue. But releasing the mask of people-pleasing, it's not about becoming selfish or hard. It's about returning to balance and returning to you. It's about remembering that your needs matter just as much as anyone else's. So I offer up this question for you to kind of put in the back of your mind as we continue through this. Is this choice that I'm about to make coming from truth, or is it coming from fear of disappointing someone. Now, when you ask this, you begin distinguishing your authentic self from your survival self. You begin distinguishing your authentic self from the imposter who has been molded and shaped and formed by experiences, environment, family, friends, from all those people that think they know you best and know what you need to do. And you don't have to overhaul your life. You don't need to announce boundaries loudly. You don't even need to say no immediately. Like we talked about last week in step 1, it's about becoming aware. And you simply are encouraged to begin listening inward, just like we talked about in last week's, or 2 weeks ago, episode in step 1 about becoming aware of our inner whisper and noticing the moments when your mouth says yes, but your body contracts. Noticing the moments when your mouth says yes, but your body contracts. That contraction is a message. That's a whisper. It's a sign that something inside of you is ready for change. Step 2 of this dance in life, I really feel is one of the most powerful and emotional steps in this journey. Because like I mentioned earlier, for many of us, people-pleasing isn't just a habit. It was a survival pattern. So somewhere in your past, like I mentioned earlier, you learned that becoming agreeable, easy, helpful, quiet, or perfect kept you safe. You may have learned that your worthiness came from how useful or how pleasing or accommodating you could be for others, not for yourself, but for others. But here's the truth. None of us were ever meant to abandon ourselves to be loved. Okay, we all deserve to be loved by ourselves for who we are, first and foremost, but also by others. Okay, people pleasing feels like harmony perhaps, but instead it's really creating disconnection. You are being disconnected from your needs, from your boundaries. Heck, half of us don't even know what that word means. Boundaries. Your truth, who you are. It truly disconnects you from your emotional well-being. So again, I remind you that we are not coming here from a place of judgment today. We are simply allowing ourselves to be curious about understanding the people-pleasing mask. We are starting to gently loosen its grip, loosen the hold it has on us, and we are creating room for honest, aligned, authentic choices that include you, that feel right for you. And this isn't going to happen overnight. This is a journey. This is a dance. This is a slow process. And you're taking the steps to do that and to bring your authentic self out from hiding. We're simply beginning to choose honesty over approval. Choosing honesty over approval. Okay. So people pleasing is a protective strategy. It develops when approval feels linked to safety, love, or acceptance. So let's just name this gently. So when you look at this, tell yourself, I learned this to survive. And again, like we mentioned, people pleasing disconnects you from your truth. Your yes becomes automatic, like you're an autopilot. You're comfortably numb. You're just going through the motions. Your needs become invisible. I am here, and we are all together here as a collective listening to this to become visible. because your needs deserve to be visible. And people pleasing will create internal conflict, in a sense that even when others are happy, you feel drained, resentful, or overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is a word that has been coming out of my inner whispers quite often, and I'm finally starting to accept it, to hear it, and to allow myself to say, you know what? You're overwhelmed. Just take a breath, take a minute, take a pause, and let's see what comes next. And whatever comes next is going to be okay, but right now you're overwhelmed. Okay, so for myself, I found even just by recognizing and acknowledging that I'm overwhelmed is a start. And it's me starting to release that mask of people pleasing. It is me being honest to me. It is me speaking my truth. And it's important to remember too that as we go on this journey of releasing people-pleasing habits, we are going to, chances are, be told that we are being selfish. We are going to be not liked by people who have been benefiting from our kindness, from our people-pleasing mask. Releasing people-pleasing is not selfish. It is self-honoring. You are practicing putting you first. Okay, it creates more honest relationships, with yourself, and healthier boundaries. Okay, and please remember that the goal out of this is not perfection. It is simply awareness. Each of these steps all starts with being aware, noticing when you're abandoning yourself is the first step towards choosing differently. Now that we've taken some time to become aware of this mask, these people-pleasing habits and patterns, I'd like to move into now the part of the podcast where I bring up some reflective questions, points to ponder, things for you to maybe jot down and come to from time to time along this journey as you begin to break free from these habits and live more authentically for you. So let's just take a few minutes here to take another deep breath in and just take a few minutes to focus on our breath. Inhale peace and kindness, and exhale any expectations for anything. Just allow yourself to be here. And as you are taking this time to breathe, I invite you to consider these questions. So I'll say the question, and then I'll just leave some silence for a few seconds. You can push pause if you want a bit longer to just sort of sit and meditate with kindness and no judgment to these questions, okay? Question 1. Where do I tend to abandon myself to keep the peace? Again, where do I tend to abandon myself to keep the peace? Okay, I invite you here to press pause if you want to for just a few minutes and sit on this or jot it down. And also I'll take this time too to remind you that if you haven't yet downloaded your own personal guidebook that you can use as you go through this journey of these 7 steps to becoming you, be sure to go to my website, www.pause23, PAUSETWOTHREE.com, and go to the shop section and be sure to download your free 7 steps to becoming you guidebook. It'll help you go a little bit deeper, and it'll help keep you on track from week to week, and it can be a good tool to reflect back on. So that is available for free. If you can find it, just drop me a message and I'll be sure to get you a link to that. Okay. And the next question, where do I say yes when I deeply want to say no? Number 3, what small truth have I been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable? And another way to look at that is, what boundary or truth, what part of me have I been avoiding because I feared disappointing someone? Okay, and remember, as you go through these, you don't need perfect clarity. You just need to be curious. Okay, so you don't need clarity. All you need is curiosity to let these questions kind of bring up some things inside of you that might have been buried deep. And again, I remind you, as I will often, we are doing this without judgment, and we are doing this with kindness, okay? This step, and actually all of the steps along this journey, they might bring up feelings of guilt or fear or really any type of emotions for you all. And that is okay. That is part of this journey. Again, be gentle, be kind, and do know that there is other professional people out there that can help you. There's mental health hotlines, there's social workers. So don't be afraid to reach out also if you find this is getting a bit heavy, and if you need help finding somebody in your area, drop me a message and I'll see if I can kind of help you out to find somebody, because this can bring up some really heavy stuff, and I want you to know that that's okay. I want you to become okay with normalizing your emotions, honoring them, and remind yourself that boundaries create healthier and more authentic connections, or at least they should. They should not bring up conflict. Okay, let's get ready now to move into a guided meditation as we begin to finish out this second step of this journey of a dance to becoming authentically you. Let yourself settle in. Take a deep breath in and let go of the day thus far. Let go of any stress, any tension that may have worked its way in again. And if you are comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes as we take a few minutes here for this guided meditation. I invite you to take note of whatever it is that is underneath you, that is supporting you, and just let your body fully be supported by this. Place one hand gently on your heart and feel the warmth there. Continue with your breathing and exhaling softly. And with each breath, just let yourself fall a little more into the moment. Imagine you are standing in a quiet room. This room is your sanctuary. It is your private, safe space where no one else exists and no expectations exist either. This is just you being here in this safe space. In the center of the room, there is a soft lavender light. Lavender, the color of compassion, gentleness, and truth. I invite you to walk safely and gently and confidently towards that lavender light. Let it wrap around you like a warm blanket. As you feel this lavender light surrounding you, imagine it dissolving old patterns of self-sabotage, self-abandonment. Let it soften any guilt you may be holding on to. Let it melt away any pressures. And imagine it releasing the heaviness of pretending or performing. Now I invite you to visualize, picture a version of yourself standing a few feet ahead. This version of you is honest. This version is grounded and clear, and they say no when their body says no. And this version says yes when their heart says yes. They choose themselves with kindness. And you are now going to approach this version of yourself slowly, with no judgment, with compassion, with love, with kindness. And as you get closer, notice what emotions arise. And again, notice these emotions without judgment, without trying to push them aside, without trying to ignore them. Perhaps it's relief. Maybe there's some fear. Perhaps it's hope or a longing for something. Well, remember, you are safe, you are here, and all is good. Whatever you feel, welcome it. Welcome it with compassion and love and kindness and gentleness and no judgment. Stand beside this empowered, strong, confident version of you. Feel their steadiness, their clarity, their ease. Now, I want you to imagine merging with them, two becoming one, stepping into them, becoming them. That shift inside your chest. Feel that grounding coming to you, becoming you. Feel that truth. Now I invite you to repeat silently or aloud, or just let my words wash over you. Choosing myself is safe. Choosing myself is safe. My needs matter. My needs matter. And the last one, no is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. Feel these truths. They may be foreign, they may be scary, they may be uncomfortable for you, and that's okay. You are safe and you are learning to take off that mask and to be you, and that is a beautiful thing. I invite you to take 3 soft breaths in. Inhale, soft, fresh, empowering breaths, and exhale anything that no longer serves you. And just take a couple more minutes on your own to just breathe and let your body remember that you are okay. Let these truths settle into your body. And when you're ready, I invite you to begin returning into your physical space, coming back to the room around you. Wiggle your fingers, maybe roll your shoulders, stretch your neck, whatever feels good to come back into this present moment, and gently open your eyes when you're ready. Remember, my friends, people pleasing doesn't disappear overnight. Okay, this didn't just happen to you. in the blink of an eye. These habits are created over time, and while it won't disappear overnight, it will unwind, it will soften, and it will shift. And over time, with awareness and compassion, you are confidently going to take off that mask of people pleasing. And again, remember, you are going to revisit this step many times throughout your journey, throughout this life. Some days you'll choose yourself easily, and other days the old patterns will feel louder. And that's okay. This is normal. This is part of being a human, and this is part of the dance. Every time you pause and check in with your truth, and every time you practice a small, honest no, and every time you breathe and pause before responding, you are reclaiming yourself. And that is beautiful. I thank you again for being here for step 2. And if you haven't checked out the intro in step 1, please do go check those out. And I will meet you in step 3 of this dance, where we explore what it means to reclaim your inner truth and speak from your center. And always remember, my friends, your power is in the pause. Namaste.